Hi, this is Shondell Joyce, and I'm demonstrating how to draw a still life. So I'm starting off with a toned surface. It's just regular sketch paper. I'm using charcoal. Once I have it evenly toned, I place the biggest, darkest shape, which in this case is the base. And then using simple basic shapes, I build the other shapes that are in the composition. So the pumpkins are the more challenging shape. I start off with an ellipse and then create the conical stem surface and then the cut piece of the pumpkin. Same with the bigger pumpkins, start with the big shape of it, then the ellipse for the top, and then create the lobes. Once I have all of the basic shapes in place, then it's time to look at the values. I'm starting off by erasing the lights. This is a subtractive process, and it helps me to get a feel for where those darks will go. Next, I'm adding the darks, and this is the darkest darks. So I'm creating a pattern of darks wherever I see what would be about a 5 value. Now, we already have a middle value and the light value. So this is the darkest value, and it's creating at least 3 values on this paper already. So I'm working through methodically like it's a jigsaw puzzle. Once I have the darks in one place, I move to the next until I've finished. Once I've placed all of the darkest values, I go one step lighter. This would be the 4 values. This, the 4 values are basically the form shadows that shows the shape. It's still everything that's darker than the toning on the paper. So the form shadow on the butternut squash is just a little bit darker than the tone of the paper. So I'm adding it, the pattern on the cloth underneath the still life, a little bit darker than the toning, so it's a 4. So I'm comparing everything to the tone of the paper. The tone is my 3 or my middle value. So everything else needs to be darker or lighter than that tone. So once I have that in place and I've added the 4 to pretty much every shape, I'm also adding it to the pumpkins, especially showing the rounded part of the pumpkin that's facing away from the light. So just as the darks are connected, so are the lights. And everything, every part of the shape that's facing away from the light is going to have a form shadow on it. So that's going to help us to see that it's a rounded shape. So I'm following through with the form shadow on the cut pumpkin, and then the next thing touching it is the big tall pumpkin, creating the form shadow on that tall pumpkin. And there we have it. We have the darkest dark, 5 values, the 4, which is the form shadows, the 3, which is the middle value, not in light, not in shadow. The 2s are erased out. So the ones, if I chose to, I could add them with a white pastel. Hope you'll join me for more classes online. Thank you.